There's little doggy bags for everybody to drink. Try to bribe you all to get here. Literally bribe you. I have a schedule we're going on. There is so much to cover. We are not going to cover it all in 2 hours, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a basic. I'll tell you something about me. I've been training dogs for over 50 years. I have done bomb dogs, drug dogs, military dogs, search and rescue dogs, obedience dogs, confirmation dogs, every breed, every size.
Bedbug dogs.
Bedbug dogs, yeah. You name it. I have done every kind of training with the exception of herding, which I am learning myself right now, and hunting dogs. I have not done bird dogs or hunting dogs. This class is going to focus mainly on just on you, your mindset, how dogs view you, how dogs think about you. Am I talking loud enough for everybody? Okay. How dogs view you, how they learn the quickest. There are lots and lots and lots of gimmicks out there, training equipment out there, things for you to try. It's always coming up. Same within the horse world, you know, everybody's coming up with a gimmick. I'm going to give you what I feel works the best for every dog. And that is that you need to get into the mindset of your dog. Your dog is not your baby. It is not your child. It is not any of those things. It is a dog. It thinks like a dog. It reacts like a dog. When we try to baby our dogs too much, and we ignore their body language, we ignore how they think about life, it's very, very difficult to train them. We are human beings. Human beings are very gray, okay, which means that sometimes we're consistent, sometimes we're not, sometimes we allow it, other times we don't. Mom says one thing, dad says something else, and this circle goes on and on. Well, because a dog is black and white, a dog looks at you as a liar. You're not a big, strong pack leader, okay? They think in a pack. They are wild animals that have been domesticated. They are hardwired in their brain to think of life as a pack. And when we disrupt that pack order, it makes training more difficult. It's not that you're doing anything really bad to your dog or anything like that. You're giving it love. You're doing the thing that you think that's right. But the most important thing is if you think like your dog, you are going to get so much farther with everything. The other thing people are is we're not consistent. You know, we don't have time. We don't have time to sit there and do that. We can't find the 5 minutes a day that it takes to do it. We make excuses. Dogs don't make excuses. What they see is what you get. So that's different. We're going to go over, it's not a training class for your dog here. We're going to basically train you to train your dog. And I'm going to tell you some things, and some people in here are going to disagree, and they're going to say, oh, I never do that. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. There's one thing that 2 dog trainers, if they got together, can agree on. And one is that the other dog trainer is wrong. So take what resonates with you from this class and leave the rest. Okay? There is 1,000 ways to train a dog. And there are 1,000 ways to train a person. Every dog is different. When people ask me certain problems, I've got lists of questions, and some of the behavioral issues that we have is just plain lack of training, lack of consistency, lack of thinking like your dog. So we're here to correct all that. do have a demo dog. We're going to demonstrate a few things. I'm going to go over a few training tools. Some of you may like them, some of you may not, but to me these are tried and true, and these are things that work without nagging your dog. Can everybody just tell me what kind of dog you have, what your name is, what your dog's name is? We'll start with you.
Trisha, dog's Nova, Sheltie.
Julie Jones. 2 German short hair dogs. Chris Patella, Daisy, Caldwell 57.
2 dogs, a German Shepherd, Joey, and then a Chihuahua Bella.
Bill Burnside, I have a very spoiled dog. His name's Indian's a master.
Kathy Schoonover, dog's name is Ember. She's a Heinz 58.
Shauna Francis, we're between dogs right now. We lost our dog here in Canada, but I'm still interested in the presentation.
Sandy and Trentwell. We have Anya, who is our coated dog, Velcro dog dachshund, and then we have our Lily. We think miniature schnauzer and Shih Tzu, and heaven only knows what else.
Okay.
Janet Cromer. I have 2 dogs, Cody and Artie, and they're both small Munsterlander hunting dogs.
Kathy Markey, I have a dog, Eva. She's a Vizsla.
Mary Petcope and Jackie. We have a dog, Bailey, who's a Bernese mountain dog.
Pam Zolfro. My dog's name is Archie. He is a small mutt from Foothills.
You know my dogs.
They don't.
Oh, they do know. They know the black dog that got dumped at the gate. That's crazy. And then I have Saxon as well, and they're just little big. One looks like a big lab, and the other one just will run.
I like dogs, and I have Lindsay the Great Dane.
I'm Ken Tolan. I have 2 dogs, Laylee, a little Papillon, and Marley is a golden doodle.
Ashlyn have a standard.
How about you guys back there?
She's
Who's talking? I'm sorry. I thought that was your dad. Yes.
No.
I have a standard poodle, and her name's Noelle.
Noelle? And what's your name?
Ashlyn.
Second grandpa.
Debbie Dunn, and I have a mini American Shepherd, aka mini Aussie. She's very spoiled.
Bill Wolf, 2 dogs. Molly's a Collie and Pulling Shepherd mix, and Buster, who is someone dumped here, probably Pit Bull and something else.
Jose O'Shaughnessy, I have Lena. She is maybe a Springer Spaniel mix, who knows?
Kathy Laughlin, I have a lab mix named Charlie from Foothills. And then Betty is a Jack Russell Terrier Heinz 57 mix.
I'm Jamie, and I have the same dogs as him.
Scott Hudson, Annie is her name. She's kind of a mutt. She's a Stratfordshire Terrier and Pit Bull mix, and she's a rescue right from here in the Coves.
Jerry and Bill. And we're dogless right now, but we've had the last one was a German Shorthair Pointer and Doberman mix. Elvis.
Yeah. We. I say he.
Bill.
That's his dog.
I have a Great Pyrenees named Toby.
I have the same dog as Shazay. She's a Bitza.
And that's Dan, my husband, and we have a German Shepherd and a Border Collie. And the Border Collie is young. I bought her actually as a demo dog for you guys for later on. So we're gonna, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Being very quiet over there.
Joe Kersey, we've got a Nova Scotia Duck Polar and recently added a Skipper Key.
Okay. All right, so we've got quite the mixture in this room here, which is great. You know, we have some little dogs, we've got some big dogs, we've got some rescue dogs, and just huge mixture, which is good. I'm gonna go over a few training items. Did you have a question? No. With you guys. So, basically, you know what a flat back buckle collar is, right? So that's a collar that the dog is usually on that holds its tags. It is not a training collar. It is basically just a collar for you to use to identify your dog should your dog get loose. We also have a martingale collar, which is great for smaller dogs. A martingale is similar to a flat buckle collar, except you can kind of pull on it and it tightens a little bit on the dog, so you can give that gentle correction on a smaller dog. You have a choke chain. Choke chain is just a chain that goes around the dog's head, and there's specific ways to use it. If that's how you walk your dog, is on that kind of a collar. It has to look like a P. So when you hold the choke chain up, you have the little loop that the chain goes through, and when you hold the end, it should be a P. That's how you put it on. If it's a Q, you're using it incorrectly. So anybody that has that collar, just try to remember that, or it's not effective for your dog. We also have remote collars, and the thing with a remote collar, when I train a dog on a remote collar, it's mainly for recall, it's mainly for off-leash work. I don't use most remote collars come with a tone, a vibrate, and a shock. I don't use a shock when I train my dog. I use the tone, and if they don't listen to the tone, I give them a vibrate. After a while, you can take the little prongs that are on it off and just use the tone. And that is great because it's like your invisible leash. So there's a lot of folks that, you know, go for a walk, you want to take your dog off, let it run, let it have fun, and then it sees a squirrel, or it sees another dog, or it sees a person, and you really have no way to get your dog to come back because it gets into that brain set of being prey driven. So the tone snaps them out of it. So I don't know if you can see my picture up here. So this is a dog's brain. A dog is either primal, okay, which means I'm going to kill that squirrel. I'm going to be very reactive when another person comes. I am going to guard my home. I want to eat. I want to have sex. Whatever the primal drives are, that's their primal brain. On the other side of the brain is their analytical side, okay? That's where their thought process, their reasoning skills, their listening skills, all of that comes into play. A dog cannot be primal and analytical at the same time. They're either one or the other. They cannot do both. Now, the one thing that they can do both is on instinct. So we've got a few herding breeds in here. So they're bred to herd other animals. They can listen to commands. I don't know if you've ever seen like a herding dog work, but it's done on whistles, all right? And that dog has to have that drive, that instinct to go fetch those sheep, bring those sheep back, but it also needs to listen. Same with German Shepherds. Same thing, military dogs. You've seen military dogs. They have to have that instinct to be a good protection dog, police dog, military dog, all of that. But those dogs need to listen. So you're running instinct and analytical. When a dog is primal, it has to snap out of it for it to listen to you. If your dog's behavior is escalated, you're walking your dog on a leash and it sees another dog, or it sees a car, or whatever, and your dog, and it's all up in the air. You can yell at that dog all you wah, and your dog hears wah, 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 wah. Or it hears you barking, okay? It hears you barking. You are not gonna get anywhere. You have to bring your dog from a 10 down to like a 3, okay? If you can't bring your dog's level down to that 3, there's nothing that you can do. So we have to be able to snap that dog. We have to get the dog to learn to use more of the analytical side or the instinct side and less of the primal side. So the brain in a dog is similar to a muscle. You know, if you don't use that muscle consistently, what's it gonna do? It's gonna be primal all the time, primal all the time. So you have to teach your dog to come down, to be respectful, to listen to you. All right, dogs think in a pack, okay? So there's mom, there's dad, there's another dog, maybe there's 2, 3 dogs, okay? There's a whole pack. There's a whole order of things in your house. And if you are not the good, consistent, honest, never lying pack leader, you're gonna get inconsistent behavior. So anybody that's struggling with that, you have to remember that 1, bring your level down, and 2, you have to be very consistent with your dog, and you have to tell the truth. If you tell your dog, don't jump on this person, and then your husband comes home and calls the dog up, okay? It's a moot point. You're never going to teach that dog to stop jumping. My border collie, she's 2. She's absolutely insane and crazy and ADHD and demanding and energetic and all of these things. But she has an off button, and she also has a listen button. And that was done through being consistent with the dog, and meaning what I say. So you can't let your dog go bark at that person and not be able to shut it down. It has to shut down. It's good for a dog to warn you. We all want our dogs to warn us, you know, of impending danger or whatever. But when, as a pack leader, you say, that's enough, that dog needs to come back down and relax and be at your side. Dogs learn on body language, okay? So a lot of training is done, at least when I train a dog, everything's on my left side. I guess they did that back in the days of the cavalry, when they would carry their swords and everything and how to get on the horse so that the dogs would stay on the left. So that is, if you show your dog to do anything, everything's on the left. So just to kind of follow those rules, that's the body language I teach my dog. So you stay on my left side. I don't tell my dog over and over to do something. A lot of folks will tell their dog, sit, sit, sit. Can you sit, sit, sit? Then the dog sits. Aren't I wonderful? Okay? I got my dog to sit. That was great. No, your dog sat on its own terms. Okay? In his brain, he's like, well, I did it because I wanted to, not because you said it. The dog should do something the very first time you tell it, unless it's a little puppy. Okay? How many people treat train their dogs? Give them treats all the time? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Treats are good for puppies. They're good for puppies. But after a while, it has to do something because it respects you. It needs to respect you as a pack leader. If you are not a good, strong pack leader and you're just giving it a cookie, what if it wants that squirrel more than your cookie? What do you think you've got? Nothing. You've got nothing because that dog does not respect you as the leader. Think about the wild dogs. If, say it was a pack of wolves, okay? So a pack of wolves, there is the alpha, there is the omega. Then the young and the old and the stupid are in the middle, okay? and the front dog and the back dog are protecting that pack of dogs. So that's how you kind of have to run your house, okay? One is the alpha, one is the omega. You're the dumb, stupid one that's in the middle. Now, some dogs like being there. Some dogs could care less. They don't care about being a leader. They don't care about any of that. They don't care if you're consistent or not consistent. You're lucky if you have that dog. But if you get a dominant dog, or you get a very fearful dog, or you get a dog with high anxiety, guess what? You better be a pack leader. Because all you're doing is you're gonna escalate that behavior. That dog is not gonna trust you. It's gonna say, oh my God, they lie, they tell me not to jump, and then they tell me to jump, and I'm so confused, and I can't trust them, and they never mean what they say, and so now they're anxious, and they're reactive, and their brain is in a, just out in outer space somewhere. So, consistency, very, very important. Mean what you say. So dogs learn on body language, going back to the left side. So that's what I do. If I want that dog to walk right next to me, I'm gonna leave on my left foot. If I don't want that dog to follow me, I'm gonna leave on my right foot. They learn faster, because it's body language. That's how they communicate. They play bow, they growl, they raise their hackles, they get stiff, they stare, all those things. Has anybody ever taken their dog to a city dog park to socialize it? Yeah. Okay. So I want to just give you a little thing about that. So in my career, I have seen lots of dogs where people have gone, they have rescued a dog, they know nothing about the dog has had 0 obedience training, and they go from the rescue to the dog park, let's see how it gets along, okay? They don't know how to stop a fight, they don't know how to get in the middle of a fight, they do not recognize the body language that the dog is putting out there, and there are a lot of fights. I've seen dogs killed in dog parks. So I've testified in court on killing at dog parks. So the other thing is that there's nobody there really to monitor it. If somebody gets a puppy and it has parvo and it's running around the dog park, that's staying there for 200 years, okay? You are exposing your dog to health risks. So please, if it's the community dog park and you know the people that are going in there and everybody is a good animal giver, not everybody is like you. Not everybody is a good animal caretaker. So be very careful of that. Back to training. Pinch collars. What does everybody think about this? What do we think? You like it? You hate it? Okay.
My dog, she's on my dog.
You like it? You hate it or like it?
I've never had a dog that would be big enough to wear.
Never tried. Okay. How about this one? Never tried it. Okay. So little dogs, these are not good collars for little dogs. Okay. They're just not, because we are too strong as human beings to react correctly. These collars are great for dogs like his Mastiff, German Shepherd, heavy-duty dogs, pit bulls, anything that's heavy. And the thing that's, people will hate this collar and say this is horrible. This is a cruel thing. I am not putting spikes in my dog's neck. There's no way, Jeannine. Well, when a dog learns, or how a dog thinks, okay, which is why we're here, when it's a puppy and it's biting all its brothers and sisters, they bite it in the neck and put it down, okay? When the mom dog says, no, I'm not nursing you anymore, they bite it in the neck and they put it down, all right? That is how a dog communicates. These collars were made for that, to be more natural for the dog. Flat buckle collar, what does that do? They've done studies on all the collars. So flat buckle collar, if your dog pulls you consistently, you're damaging the trachea, all right? Some people use a halty, that's the one that goes on the dog's nose. If your dog is a puller, you're constantly doing this. Guess what? When your dog gets older, it's gonna have nerve damage and muscle damage in the dog's neck, okay? From doing that, it would just be like you doing that all the time. It's not a horse, like they were made for horses. Horses, their vertebrae runs under their neck, not on the top. Martingale is a pretty good collar. collar to use on a small dog, like I had said before. You know, it gives you that power to make that correction, but it's not overly strong on your dog. A martingale collar is kind of like a black collar. Like, let's just say this one didn't have the pinches in it. You would use this, and this slides up and down on the collar, so it kind of tightens. Dogs can't slip out of them, and it gives you a way to give your dog pressure. Right? Big dog, I wouldn't have a big dog walking in a crowd of people that I know could pull me over. All right, I just wouldn't do it. So if I go out somewhere with my dog is going to wear something that gives me that control. Now, when you use these, we'll just use this one because it's bigger so you can see it. When you use these on your dog, one, it goes up by the dog's ear. Okay, it doesn't go down low, it goes up on your dog's ear. These links come apart so you can adjust it for a good fit on your dog. And if used properly, you only use your wrist, just like that. So, here, you can be my example. That's what it feels like. Okay?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Try. Who didn't like this collar? You? If you are a small person or you are a woman and you do not have the upper body strength of, say, Bill Burnside here, who's a big burly dude, and your dog is yanking you all over, I mean, we're getting older now, people. We are not 19 anymore, okay? We don't have that strength to do that. If your dog is trained properly, this is nothing but just in case you need it, all right? Coming for you now.
Oh, yeah, there, it's not fine.
That's it.
It looks like a spike.
So it's all in your wrist action. All right? If you're gonna put this on your dog, it's gonna hurt. It is gonna hurt. This is a self-correcting collar. So if you're walking your dog and your dog is pulling, your dog goes, ow. You don't even have to do it. Ow. I better not do that. Ow. I'm gonna walk with you. So when you see this collar with those links, and you see this collar here with the big links, which one scares you more? Correct. The little one. Okay, the smaller the links, the bigger the bite. So the smaller collar really is the more, no, we're really gonna listen today. This one really is just nothing but, you know, you need to listen, you need to stop pulling, and it will self-correct. Harness. How many people use a harness on their dogs? Okay. If it is a small dog and it is not going to pull you down and you don't really care about it walking right next to you and healing and stuff like that, harnesses are fine. But you cannot make a correction on a harness. So the dog is kind of all over on the harness. Sometimes they don't pull because, you know, you can make a small correction but not one good enough to bring your dog into a public place and have that dog right there by you. You know, your dog's going to be kind of all over. So that's your training tools. Clickers. Anybody use a clicker?
I have.
Okay. Give it. Okay? That's for collar tricks. Okay? Touch that. Oh, you touch, click. Here's a treat. You know? Okay, sit. Click. Oh, here you go. Okay? It's a collar trick. It's not one where you're going to be able, it's good to train your dog with that. Positive reinforcement is great for new dogs, but for a dog that you need to behave and to have respect, you're not going to get it with a clicker. Because again, if it wants something more than it wants that cookie or that little click reward, it's going to go after it. That dog needs to know that you mean it. So those are kind of your training tools that are out there. Some dogs, if you train them on an e-collar, that's what this is called, an e-collar. This is my favorite one, it's a Bostic. So it has a very loud tone. So what that does is you're walking your dog, and your dog sees a squirrel, and it's prey drive, right? And you're going, come back here, you know, and your dog's ignoring you. That snaps him right back. What? Okay, I have to go this way. Stops them from that noise, snaps them out of it. So I love these collars. And then they have this thing, you don't leave it on your dog all the time, you only take it out when you're gonna use it for training or walking. And these little prong things, after it knows the tone, you can take them off. And it can just wear the collar like a regular collar. So those are your training tools. What do y'all think about that? Does it make sense? Do you
I have a
understand?
question. What about the toe collar? Because I've used the toe collar before, and as soon as they hear that click, you know, they
Shift gears.
So again, a choke collar is okay. The problem with that, when you walk your dog on that and they're pulling on the choke collar and you're not using it as a training tool for your dog, and your dog pulls on the choke collar, it's the same thing as the flat buckle collar. So it can damage vocal cords, it can damage esophagus, it can damage those things. So you don't want to do, that's why a lot of people use a harness. Like if they don't actually teach that dog to heel or just walk or, you know, whatever your word is, then the harness is good because it's not going to damage any part of your dog. But then again, you're not going to be able to correct your dog either. Yes?
So Jeannine, is it true that you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
No, that is a lie. Maybe a person.
Over 60.
So let's go back to the dog's brain again, okay? Human beings, we think past, present, future, okay? Most of the time, we're not even in the present. We're thinking about something that happened before, we're thinking about something that we have to do. Very few times do we live in the moment as a human being. A dog always lives in the moment. They don't think about past, they don't think about present. There's some people that have rescue dogs here, okay? If you get a rescue dog and you say, well, he's terrified of, he must be a man. He doesn't like men. He had to have been, you know, abused by a man. All right, a dog can have a trigger like PTSD, something, you know, if a man came overpowering on the dog, it could trigger something, but a dog doesn't think in the past like that. When that dog comes to live with you, that is a new day. These are the rules, this is how we live, and this is what you need to do, okay? It's not feeling sorry for the dog because of something that happened in the past, because dogs don't think like that. That's why they're just as happy to see you if you went to the mailbox or if you were gone for a week, okay? They know routine. They know routine. They know that at this time I'm going to eat, and at this time, you know, we're going to go out for our walk, and at this time, they're very routine animals. But they're not past and future. They are very much in the moment. Very much in the moment. So you may get a trigger here and there. So the one thing I don't want you to do, because we are so compassionate as people, especially people that rescue dogs. You've got a big heart, you're very compassionate, you want to provide this best life for the dog. So we go out, we buy these expensive beds, and we let them on the furniture, and we cuddle them, and we hold them, and the dog is afraid of something, and it's like, you're okay, it's all right, don't be afraid of that. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you comforting your dog? You're rewarding your dog for being afraid, okay? Are you ever going to correct a behavior that you are rewarding? No, you're never going to change your dog's attitude. So don't do that. You're the dog. Why are you afraid of that? You know? Don't let your dog get behind you. You're the dog. Cross your legs. Make your dog sit in front. Let it face something. You know, if it's afraid of people, make it sit down. People are fine. Give the stranger a treat. Here, feed my dog. You know? Let them realize that there's nothing for them to be afraid of. The other thing, scared dogs, afraid dogs, it's because they're not trusting you as a pack leader. They don't trust that you're going to keep them safe because you're coddling them, you're petting them, you're touching them, you're allowing them up on the furniture with you. Now, I'm not saying never put your dog on the couch, and never cuddle your dog. I'm not saying that at all. But when you are training a dog, you are establishing yourself, and you are establishing their place in your household. No, you don't choose to go up on the couch. You go on the couch when I tell you you can go on the couch. If the dog decides to jump up on the couch, get off. All right? Get off that couch. You don't go on the couch. Then you can call the dog up on the couch. But the dog has to know that that is the pack leader's spot. In a wolf pack, they're not going to go on the pack leader's bed. What do you think would happen? That pack leader's going to say, oh no, that's my place. You know, dogs that beg at the table. Do you think that they would sit there and pester a pack leader for food? No. They would get bit and sent away. All right, they eat last. So all those little things that we do that make us liars in the dog's mind, we have to correct ourselves. We have to correct those problems. Obedience is the best way to do it because it establishes you as the leader. Tell the dog wants to do something. I believe in pressure and release. I believe a puppy or a brand new dog, yes, you can teach it to sit with a cookie, you know, lay down with the cookie. After it knows those commands, you need to be able to stand here and say down. And that dog should go down. You don't say down, down, down. Down is a very hard thing for a dog because it puts them in a submissive position. So if you have a dog that's very reactive at another dog, you're taking it for a walk and it's constantly being reactive. No, turn your dog around, make it lay down, make it stay in that part, put your foot on the leash so it can't pop up, and you turn and you face the whatever danger that that dog thinks that is going on. Teaches the dog that they respect you as a leader. You're going to save them. Nothing happened to them. They submitted, they laid down, they didn't have to be reactive, and you took care of the problem. And there was no problem. Barking at the door. I had a question about a dog barking at the door when somebody comes. Whoa, 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 whoa. You can't stop the dog. It's going crazy. It's at the door. It's lunging at the door. You're, stop it! Lay it down! No, 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 cut it out. How many times do you say that to your dog? Does your dog believe you? No, it's saying, you're a liar. Right? So, how do we correct that?
Good question.
What do you think? Teach them what?
An incompatible behavior.
Is an incompatible behavior, yep. So, yes.
You teach them to bark.
No.
So that then you can teach them not to bark.
Well, you can do that, but that's going to take you a really long time. Because they already know how to bark.
Right.
So if you give them a command to bark, I mean, you do that with military dogs, but you know, you say a certain word in German, and that makes the dog be aggressive. And but as a regular household thing, it's like, okay, your dog's barking at the door. You need to be able to say, that's enough. Okay? What I like to do, I have two things in that instance that I like to try. Now remember, there is 1,000 ways to train a dog. Not every way is going to be good for every dog. Unless you have an expert that comes and evaluates the situation and puts a plan together with you, these are just suggestions at this point. So my dog is barking at the door. I can't get him to stop. I'm pulling his collar. He's pulling me back to the door. He's carrying on like an idiot. So we're going to teach the dog place is a good one. Okay, so place is the dog goes to the door, he's barking, you go to the door, you actually pop your dog a little bit on the side just to break that drive, because remember I said a dog can't learn anything when it's way up here, it has to be back to the 3. So poke it. Hey, get your place. Okay, now place is a spot. And this is good too, not only for the dog barking problem, but if you go somewhere, you're going to go to a cookout or a picnic or something and you bring your dog with you. I take a little roll-up bed, something easy, a fleece blanket. and that is my dog's place. And I teach my dog to go to their place. So you bring the dog over to the blanket, you lay the dog down, you give it a cookie, you give it its food, you give it its water, everything on the place. So you tell your dog, go to your place, and we'll have dinner. Go to your place, we're gonna get, our water. And the dog learns to lay down in its place. So when it's barking at the door, you can just turn around and say, get your place. Pop it, get your place. Okay, and that dog will leave the door and go lay down. The other thing is putting a piece of painter's tape, you know that blue painter's tape, on your floor. Make a square in front of your dog. And if your dog crosses that line, step on his toes, back him up. You don't go any farther than that. After a while, if you're very consistent with that, same thing, you're gonna go out your door, you don't want your dog to come with you, dogs are barging at the door and all of that. Get back. Now you gotta take time. You can't do these things when you are late for the doctor's appointment or you're gonna be in too much of a hurry, but you need to spend 5 minutes a day. If that is your main concern or problem with your dog, you need to set it up. Send one of your husband, a friend, a wife, anybody out on the other side of the door. Let them ring the doorbell. Get back. After a while, that dog won't cross that line. He will not cross that line unless you tell him it's okay to cross it. Okay? So,
I got 3 that do that. How do you, all 3?
one at a time. One at a
Because
time.
they feed off each other, right?
Yeah. Block them. Don't let them get to the door. Block them with your body. Knock it off. Obedience. Obedience training so that when you say, that's enough, they know that is enough. Okay?
Excuse me, Jeannine, do you actually say the words, that's enough? Is
I
that
do.
right?
I do.
That's
You
the-
can say whatever word you want,
Okay.
but I always tell them, enough.
Okay,
Just like
so
that.
that's the command.
Mhm. And another one that people misuse a lot is the word down. Okay? So down should mean to lay down. It doesn't mean get down off the counter, get down off the bed, down off the person, down. Because you're saying down, 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 and it means so many different things that the dog, it takes it a while for it to understand that. So I always use the word off. Off means you keep 4 feet on the ground. Whether it's the couch, the counter, another human being, it's off. It's not down, because down means you lay down. Or you can say lay down, or leg. Simple syllables are best with dogs. You don't want to overly say stuff. Now, dogs also know, I think they did a study, I think it's 1,800 words that a dog picks up on. Okay? So they do know what you're saying to them a lot of times. The other thing with body language, again, your dog is barking at the door, okay? Dogs scent off of adrenaline. If you've ever watched them train a police dog, the agitator, the guy that the dog's supposed to bite, he's dancing around, he's hitting him with a stick, he's going this way, he's going that way, hey. He's getting his adrenaline pumping. In a hunt, okay, as a wild animal, they scent off of adrenaline. So when that deer is running, it's producing all this adrenaline. We produce adrenaline all the time. We don't realize that we're doing it, but if we're angry, if we are out of breath, if we are yelling and screaming at our dog, we are producing adrenaline. And the dog scents off it. If you're afraid of a dog, okay? If people say, oh, if you're afraid, just stand still. Well, if you're pumping adrenaline, oh my God, it's gonna get me, it's gonna get me, it's gonna get me. Guess what's gonna get you? Because you are full of adrenaline. Perception. So dogs know. Anybody ever call a friend and the first word they say on the phone, you say, what is wrong? Maybe it's a child or a husband. What is wrong? Something wrong. We receive that by the tone of either our family member or our friend because we know them so well, so we have understood that. There is So a dog can sense things 200 times greater than us. So if we don't mean what we say, the dog already knows you don't mean it. He already knows. If you have to mean it. So when I work with heavy duty dogs, or I work with really bad aggression problems with a dog, I am thinking to myself, I'm using body language, I am projecting energy, and I'm thinking, go ahead and bite me. Because if you bite me, you're gonna go in a can of dog food, and that's gonna be the end of you. Literally, I might say it to myself just so that that energy is coming out of me. Same with human beings do that too. When we're angry, we may not even have to say anything. Women are great at it. We just give you a look, right guys? Look, if you know, oh, shit, I forgot the garbage again. Right? So yeah. So that projection of energy that you put onto your dog really goes a long way. Same with your body language. It's everything is body language. That's how they communicate. That's what they learn the fastest, is just your body language. You know, if I stare at a dog and I say, oh, all right, in the dog's head, it's saying, wow, why are you staring at my eyes? Are you trying to dominate me? Okay, that's why a lot of kids get bit, because they put their faces right up to the dog. We have that problem over there, right? Luckily, you have a very calm, nice dog. But if you did that to a Rottweiler, or you did that to a German Shepherd, or you did that to a Cane Corso, you know, if it was a high drive dog, you're probably going to get bit. So you don't want to stare at your dog in the face. Same with, all right, let's say we are working on stay. Do you have another question?
Oh, no,
Yes.
no.
Oh, you don't?
No.
You're just waving your arms around just because?
He's
All right.
projecting.
So we're teaching a dog stay, okay? So what do? We put the dog on our left side, we tell it stay, we leave on our right foot, we're doing everything correct, right? Stay, right? Stay, we're projecting, better not get up, right? We're doing all that. And then we're staring at the dog's eyes. Dog lays down. Let's put you in a sit stay. Why did you lay down? Is that okay? It stayed there. Is that okay? No. So, correct. Was not my command. Why did it lay down? Because I'm staring at its face. Stare at its paw. You don't need to stare at its eyes. Because now you're staring at his eyes and he's like, all right, why is she staring at me? She's projecting this energy. Shit, I must have did something wrong. Okay? That's what's going on. So, stare at its feet. Don't stare directly into your dog's eyes. Let's go over some other questions. Anybody have any questions so far?
Just one.
Yeah.
So when you say place, like with our dogs, sometimes they see me get my bag and they go to their kennel, their crate. And other times we say go kennel. But I was told that if you're trying to tell them not to do something, you shouldn't send them to their kennel because that's a bad place. So is that wrong?
It's a punishment. So you don't want to use a crate as a punishment for your dog.
Separate place.
It's okay to do that, like if you're not being mad. Didn't listen, you're going in your crate, right?
I don't do that.
That is
I
wrong.
never do that, yeah.
But to make a dog calm down, you can't get the dog to calm down. You can't get it to come down to a 3. Go in your kennel. Give it time out, just like you would a child. Just like you would a child. How many people like crates? How many people think it's cruel? Okay. So we have a little bit of a mixed opinion on crates. So here's my take on it. If dogs live in caves, they live in small spaces, they feel very comfortable in a small space, when people crate train the dog, you will often see the dog just go in its crate, just to get away, just to have quiet time, just to have its own spot, okay? Just like you have your favorite recliner, that's your dog's favorite spot. The other thing I like about crate training is, let's say we had another massive hurricane, or a tornado, or some horrible fire, anything going on in here, and we're trying to evacuate all these animals. Are we just gonna put them willy-nilly in the horse trailer and get them out of here while we're in the truck and they're just running around back there? No. But if you crate train them, one, if you bring your dog to a groomer, it's gonna go in a crate. If you bring your dog to the vet for a surgical procedure, it's gonna go in a crate. If you have an emergency situation and have to evacuate, it's gonna go in a crate. So for all those reasons, I think crates are a wonderful thing to teach your dog to, this is your safe place, and you'll be okay in there. Also in the
Also mention too, even if they're not evacuating, a dog in a crate in a car, if you get in an accident, is safer than your
I
dog.
was just gonna say that.
Sorry.
That's okay, but good point, well taken. So if you're traveling and your dog is car sick, okay, pop it a Benadryl, put it in the crate, it'll lay down. A lot of times they're car sick just because they're watching out the window like this and they're seeing shadows and they're seeing stuff. But if it goes in the crate and he lays down, usually it's an airline crate, not a wire crate, but an airline crate. That dog will lay down and be good. We had a couple, they couldn't make it to the seminar, but they come from Maine and come down here for part of the year, and they have this cute little dog, but those long trips, the dog's throwing up the whole ride. It's so uncomfortable. She has to hold it in her lap. She's got to, make it tight and everything. Well, that dog is looking for just a safe area to go. It's afraid of cars. So she puts it in the airline crate, the dog's fine. So for all those reasons, crates are good. Because if you've never put your dog in it, then they're going to be a little bit afraid of it. They're not going to understand, this is your safe spot. This is it. The other good thing is if you have a puppy, all right? You have a life. You have to go out. Sometimes we can't bring our dogs with us. Dan, by the way, where's Dan? Can you go check on our dog? Thank you. We can't bring the dog with us. We don't want it to get an obstruction because it decides to eat a sock that we left out, or it chews up the couch and it eats the foam, or whatever. We don't want those things to happen to our dog. So it's beneficial. You have a place, it feels safe, you put it in, and all of that. All right. Yes.
Yeah, another question. If used consistently, body language and progression, can that be used effectively as a training tool?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. A dog just needs to know what it is that you're projecting.
Yeah, the consistency. Okay.
For those of us that have rescue dogs that are older, we can crate train them
Yeah.
being older.
So just start off very, very short time in the crate. Put its water bucket in the crate. Put its food bowl in the crate. That's how we initially start. So that every time the dog eats, it has to go in the crate to eat its dinner, and then it comes out. And those little things, and pretty soon you'll see that the dog just goes in its crate. Or if it's got a favorite bed, an older dog, it has its bed. Put its bed in the crate. Praise it every time you see it in the crate. Good dog. Oh, that reminds me, that's another thing people do, okay? So we're training our dog, and let's say we're training our dog to heel, to walk next to us. And, heel, and it doesn't sit. We give it a correction, right? Give it a correction and it sits. And we say heel. Doesn't sit. Give it a correction. And it finally sits. We as human beings always find the negative, okay? We concentrate on the negative. Did anybody say during that time, what a good sit? That's exactly what I wanted you to do. You are a good dog. Same with jumping. Dogs learn to jump because They're looking for our attention. They want attention because we're busy, we're cooking food, we're in the kitchen, we're yelling at the kids, we're doing all these things. And the dog's like, what about me? What about me? Comes up nice to you, and you ignore him because he's nice. So he jumps on you. Says, get off of me. Stop that. Get out of the kitchen. What's wrong with you? Well, he's saying, well, what about me? All right? And the dog gets down off of you. Do you say, there you go. That's exactly what I want. You'll get good attention if you just, be polite. A dog that jumps on people is impolite. It is not polite. You need to decide what rules are good for you, what rules you want to enforce. It doesn't have to be that they're little robots. We're not looking for that. My herding dog doesn't walk on a leash. So who knows what's going to happen today, but okay, I'm kind of like the shoemaker whose kids don't have shoes and everybody else does, all right? But no, she's a herding dog. So she needs to be analytical all the time. So I don't want a robot. I don't need a robot. I don't want a robot for a dog. My German Shepherd, that's a different thing. We talk English to the dog when we want the dog just to be behaved. Talk German to the dog when it's like immediate response. Border Collie, as long as she's thinking and she's analyzing and she's figuring. So a lot of herding dogs are like that. They analyze, figure, think, they want to outsmart you, okay? The other thing dogs do, and then we're going to take a little break, just get some food and pee and whatnot too, and then we'll get back to it. But, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
Something about dogs.
Y'all do so many bad things. We'll come back to that. So we've got, huh?
We were talking about praise.
Crates.
Praise.
Yeah. We just refuse to praise. We don't tell the dog that that's good. Or if we do say good, we don't tell it what it's good at. I told you, dogs live in the moment. Yes.
So I have a Bernese Mountain Dog.
Yes.
And I train him with good boy. And I won't say anything, but I'll clap and I'll give him thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed that in training him, if I do the thumbs up, he's more reactive to the next chain of command.
Why is that? Why do you think that is?
I'm
Body language. It's body language.
Yeah, because I guess you're right, because it doesn't make any difference what position I'm in, as far as he does something, I tell him place, and I'm like, yeah, good boy,
It's your body language.
He'll sit right down, okay.
Because they pick that up first and foremost, okay? While we're going wah, 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 they're learning body language. So the first thing we do, we want the dog to sit. We're grabbing the treat, we're putting it on the dog's nose, sometimes we're putting a little pressure on its butt, it's body language. After that, when the dog knows it, now it's projecting. It's our energy. It's meaning what we say. It's being consistent, and then the dog is great. So Bernese Mountain Dogs, they're a very independent, kind of a stubborn breed. Well, you think that they do a lot of search and rescue work. They have got to be an independent dog.
Yeah, very much alpha.
Yeah, same with labs. Labs need to be an independent dog. So the praise, going back to the praise thing, I want you to tell your dog as it's learning something, whatever it does right. Good sit, good down, good place, all right? Keep those words in your dog's head so it learns your language. Tell it it's good for something. If Bill Burnside worked for me, and I give him a report to write, and I go up and I'm like, oh, Bill, that's horrible. Do it again. That's awful. That's awful, Bill. Really. Can you do better than that? And then finally I take the paper and I'm like, all right, and I walk away. Now, if I say, hey, Bill, I think you should do it this way. And Bill says, okay, let me try that. And he does it, and I said, wow, Bill, that was great. Here's a $100 an hour raise. Guess what? He's gonna write my reports like that all the time, okay? But if all I'm doing is yelling at him, and the same with a correction. You correct the dog, sit, you have to give it some pressure. You release the pressure, that's what is the reward for the dog, but the best reward is that you say, good dog, okay? Because now it's saying, I pleased that pack leader. I did it right, all right? And it wants to please you. Most dogs want to please people. I mean, there are some dogs that are dog pleasers, and they don't really care about you. Bill's Pyrenees, but we can get him to work with respect, you know? Like, you need to listen to what we say. Because they're, again, another independent, they're out with livestock, they're just running perimeter.
So, just another scenario. I'll be out in the yard, the dog is off leash, no collar, but he's with me. He is within 20 feet of me. Someone comes walking down the street with another dog, and it's immediately, oh, I gotta see this guy. Bailey, come. Bailey, come. And until he goes out and sees the dog, and then reacts to command. He
Right.
will not stop halfway and come back to me.
Because you're going wah, 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 because your dog is up here.
Okay.
So, long line,
Yeah.
all right? This is just a leash. It's a piece of rope from Home Depot. Put a clip on the end, put a handle on the other end, and this is how we teach off-leash. Work with the dog, okay? Or with this. But even with this, you cannot go and buy this and put it on the dog and ring the bell and expect the dog to listen. The dog has to know what the bell means. So don't ever put it on your dog because you might scare it. And it may run the other way. Say, what is that? Okay? So long lines are great. And do it places. You can go to Tractor Supply. You can go to Home Depot. You can go to Lowe's. There's so many places that you can go. You can go down by the river barn where all the people are walking Tuesdays and Thursdays. Put a long line on your dog. Practice it there. You know, have your dog next to you, and then you see somebody walking down or whatever, and your dog wants to get up and go say hi.
He'd be fine. If he is leashed to me, he would be fine. He will stay right at my side.
Then train him on this, but do it with the long line first. Like I said, because you have to call your dog. Your dog doesn't respond, you ring the bell, and then you've got to say, oh my God, quick, hurry, 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 come. Because they're like, oh, what was that noise? You know, and now they're going to run for protection to you. So,
I've been doing it with a treat lately. So.
okay, well, but see, then you don't have that control if you're
Exactly
in
right.
another place, because the dog wants to do that more than it wants that cookie. So that's why I think, you know, you have to get off of the treat training every once in a while, and just really, you know, work off leash as much as we can.
Work
And
more.
this is your invisible leash.
Yeah, the verbal and the, like I say, body language.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let's take a quick break.
Jeannine, real quick, on the long line, so are you saying put the dog on the long line and then Janet walks by with her dog and here goes our dog? Are you saying let that long line and snap it back, or am I trying to
Be
snap
somewhere where you can grab it. So if you think your dog is gonna be whatever, but I would do both. If you're having a problem with that, I would do both. So I would put the long line, especially if you want to ever get to a point where you can let your dog go. There are so many dogs that are loose here. So many, you know, we want our dogs to run. That's your invisible leash. But put them on the long line. You don't have to snap it, but you need to be able to reel them in. You know, what did I say to you?
Okay, so the foot on the line, okay.
You know, let them run around the yard. If you know somebody's gonna come over, that's a great setup for a dog. We have to set our dogs up for success. You know, if you don't set the dog up, call a neighbor, call a friend. Hey, can you help me? My dog is jumping all over everybody. Can you help me? You know, people are walking down the road. My border collie jumps all over everybody, and it's mainly because we're down the barn and the walkers come by. Oh, jump and, oh, good girl, you love me, don't you? No, she's being disrespectful to you. You know, bring your knee up, turn your back. No, you don't do that. You don't jump on a human being. Whatever your rules are, okay, are your rules. Also on stay, for anybody that does obedience, I used to use stay for calling my dog, and I used to use stay for leaving my dog. I don't ever do that anymore. And the reason for that is, again, when you say the command stay, your dog going to sit, you bring your right hand over in front of their face and you say stay. Okay? The reason for that is because one day you're going to be off leash and you can go stay. And your dog, it transfers. I use the word wait. If I'm going to call my dog, I say wait. And I walk away and then I call my dog to me. So they have two commands. Stay means you do not leave that spot until I return. Wait means I'm going to call you to me, you know, so we're going to go that way. And the reason for that is, let's say your dog gets out of the backyard and it's running down John's Parkway and you're calling your dog. Spot, here, where are you? Spot, come on. Now all of a sudden your dog stops whatever it's doing, it's analytical again, and it starts running. And here comes Bill Burnside screaming down the road. You want to be able to say, stay, just like that. Project it, stay, body language, and have that dog stop dead in its tracks. If you don't teach those two different commands, your stay isn't going to really mean much. Also, on a stay, when you return to your dog, don't just return to the front of your dog, walk behind it. Release it from behind you. That way your dog's not anticipating where you walk halfway across the road and then it's like, Mommy's coming, and it gets up and it runs. When it learns that it's going to stay until you get behind it, you won't have that anticipation and that breaking of the stay. Anybody else before we break? Quick questions?
Quick question.
Dan's taping it, so just make him watch a YouTube video.
Jeannine, quick question. So our dog knows it wait incredibly well. Like I would never tell her to wait and then leave the room because she'd still be there. But all of her other commands, I think I'm answering my own question here. It sounds like consistency and maybe being stronger with them. But say I want her to, she usually can lift her paw if we, clean it. She knows down, she knows sit. But if I'm not on top of it, she does a dance through every single one of them. So she can go from down, sit, paw, high five, like trying to figure out what I'm wanting her to do.
So your dog is learning pattern instead of command. So sometimes what we do is we tell the dog, sit, it's your cookie, down, good dog, high five, okay? It's learned a pattern. So if you go over to your dog and you say down, is your dog going to look at you like, what? What about sit? Sit bird, So you need to change that up because when we first learn to train a dog, we learn sit, then we learn down, then we learn heel, then we learn stay, wait, come. Okay. So dogs learn pattern. Like I said, they know when they're going to get fed. They know when they're going to go for a walk. They know they're very pattern driven. So break your patterns up and make the dog just listen to your command. And again, one time. So I'm going to show you with the Border Collie with the pressure and the release to get the Border Collie to do something because it really doesn't. It's crazy. But, we have done some things with the dog because Border Collie is extremely reactive. When I first took her to sheep herding, all it wanted to do was just chase, It wouldn't come back, it wouldn't listen, it was just crazy. So we had to work on training that analytical mind. Going back to the barking at the door, another good thing to teach your dog is leave it, okay? Leave it is a wonderful thing, and there's a correct way to train it. So take a milk bone, something low value, okay? Your dog's on leash, you throw the milk bone, leave it. Dog's staring at it, wants it, leave it, and you wait. That's the one command you can say over and over again, is leave it, and stay. You can say that one over and over. But leave it, you know, and wait for the dog to redirect and look at you. Like, are you kidding? Good dog! Give it a hot dog, okay? Take your milk bone. It never gets what you throw. Throw the milk bone, leave it. 3 or 4 tries, the dog will look at it and look at you, okay? You're teaching muscle memory, all right? So every time it looks at you, you're breaking that drive, okay? And it's getting analytical. So you can say, leave it at the door as well, and dog will turn back to you and come back. It's breaking that high thing. Remember a dog, you know, if I put a dog, say I have a dog that's never been on a leash before, and let's say it's a big dog, you know, Paul is Great Dane, and I know I'm not going to have the strength to get that good correction or to even control that dog without the pinch collar. So I put the pinch collar on it, and it goes forward and it corrects itself. And it's like, what is that? Right? And he's struggling. I'm not going to fight the dog. I'm going to just let the dog struggle through it, figure out you don't pull, and it won't hurt you, and let it calm back down. Once it calms back down, now we're going to get back to our lesson. So a dog will never learn when it's way up here. You have to bring it back down. We'll go over your garbage bag.
The sneeze.
Yeah, the sneeze too. I mean, it's the same thing. You know, you've got to teach him something about that sneeze. So, you know, you've got to say, that's enough. You know, lay down. Make him do something. Make him work. Every time he reacts to that, okay, now we're going to heel. Now you're going to lay down. Now you're going to sit. Now you're going to stand. Now you're going to turn this way. After a while, he's going to be like, Karen, you have a stupid sneeze. She's going to make me work every time I do something she doesn't like. But it puts you guys in the leadership position, and it teaches him that there is a consequence to him doing that. Same with the garbage bag. Tie it to him. Yeah. Keep doing it. Can't do it just once. You know, shake it. You know, whatever. Put him on a leash so he can't do it. Make him lay down. Put your foot on one end of the leash. Make him lay down. Shake your garbage bag. Let him submit to the garbage bag. And if he pops up, if you have like this collar on, he's going to self-correct. And he'll learn to just be calm. But let's take a pee break. You guys have 10 minutes. Grab some food.
Find a house.
Use the bathroom. All right, enough. It's enough.
Sit, stay.
Sit. Stop. Leave it. Leave it.
Heel.
Got us trained.
All right, we just got a couple more minutes, and then I'm just going to show you the correct way to put on a collar for training purposes for your obedience work. We have a basket that's a giveaway. If you can answer the first person, you got to raise your hand. The answer to the question is the dog basket. I hope you all learned a little bit of something and figured out what it is that maybe you are doing incorrectly in your life with your dog. Never, ever, if you have a rescue dog or any kind of dog, feel sorry for that dog for its life. The day that dog comes to live with you is the first day of the rest of its life, okay? Set your rules. What you can live with and what you can live without. They don't have to be a lot of rules. If you don't like the dog jumping on the door, work on that one. If you don't like the dog being reactive to things, work on that one. Reactivity is a lot of times because the dog doesn't believe you. So if you have a very reactive dog, some dogs, it's just in their DNA. Little dogs are very reactive, because they're little. They feel like they have to intimidate, because they could get stepped on, they could get hurt, and they're not trusting that you're going to take care of all of that. Big dogs that do that, that can be a dangerous thing. So you might want to nip that in the bud. Maybe it's jumping, maybe it's counter surfing, maybe it's something like that. And if there were questions and you didn't want to talk about them, or there is something that we didn't cover in this, call me. I'm in the directory. Text me. I'm not real good with email, so text or call is probably the best thing to do, and I'll get back to you. If you would like a dog evaluated, I need to see everybody. I need to see how your household works. I need to see what your issues are and how you're addressing it and fixing it, to put a plan together for you. If you are going to do a lot of letting your dog off leash, I really strongly recommend that you get like the Boston collar, so that you have that invisible leash on your dog. People don't like that. They don't like dogs running up to them. Some people don't care, but there's a lot of people that don't like that. Or it may be somebody, and maybe they're walking an aggressive dog, and you don't want your dog going over there. Pay attention to body language. We didn't go a lot on the body language of a dog, but I have seen a couple of times down at the river barn, people wanting to introduce their dogs to another dog. And they're absolutely not paying any attention to the dog's body language. Okay, there is a rule when introducing a dog. First of all, if you're going to bring another dog in your household, the introduction needs to be done on leash and off property. Okay? It cannot be done at your house. You're setting yourself up for a problem if you have a very dominant dog in the household. Or if you have a dog that feels like you're an usurper, and that you're bringing into the house. So all introductions are off leash. Body language, so you know whether it's safe to let your dog off or not. If a dog is staring, not blinking at another dog, bad sign. That eye contact has to be broken. Whenever I introduce a dog to another dog, I take them for a walk. I let them greet for no more than 3 seconds. And in your head, I want you to go 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, break them apart, walk on. Okay? Don't go 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1, or you're going to have a fight, especially if they are using bad body language. If the dog is very stiff, tail up in the air, body stiff, shouldering, anything like that, no, that is not the time to let them play together. You've got to put in some work, Don't hope for the best, because, you never know. Does anybody know how to break up a dog fight if one happens?
Pull their back leg.
You know how to break one up? Tell me.
Both people get the back legs and separate them so that it can't get to you,
Yep.
bite you.
Exactly. The old wheelbarrow trick. Pick their back legs up, twist, okay? And immediately grab the dog by the collar. Do not stick your hands in there, nothing like that. If you're by a hose or something that can shock them out of it, a lot of times that'll work, unless it's a big burly dog. Yelling and screaming, all that's gonna do is get them going even worse, right? So calm, cool, collected, grab the back legs, don't panic. If you panic, what's gonna happen? What are you gonna produce?
Adrenaline.
Right. What's the adrenaline gonna do?
Make them go crazy.
So calm, cool, collected, go in there, grab the back legs. All else fails, stick your finger up the butthole. Works every time. Okay? Works every time.
Oh, that's cold.
In a dog fight,
right,
if
we're
they
all
are
right.
making a lot of noise,
Yeah, there's.
okay, they're fighting, their bodies are going and they're making a lot of noise, chances are they are not being hurtful, okay? Think of it like we're all at the bar, okay? We're gonna use Bill Burnside here again.
Of course you
Sorry.
The big burly dude.
So Bill's at the bar, and he's there with Michelle, okay? And some drunk comes up and grabs Michelle's butt. Bill sees it, right? Bill's gonna go up to him, don't you ever touch my wife's butt, I'll beat you, and he's gonna make a lot of noise. And the other guy's gonna be like, come on, you wanna go now, right? They're talking, they're yelling, they're in lizard brain, they're big, they're going up. And Michelle can be in the background saying, no, Bill, don't fight, it was an accident, he didn't really grab my butt, he just was moving me out of the way, you know, whatever. He doesn't hear that. He doesn't hear any of that. But as long as you're talking, it's fine. It's when Bill turns around and he's quiet, that fist is gonna come, okay? So it's the same with the dog fight. So when they're making a lot of noise, don't panic. Take a deep breath, go in, grab the back legs, spin, okay?
He's just like
Finger up the
Michelle
butt.
didn't.
And she probably would have, so. Is there anything that you guys need to ask me before we go outside for doggy demo? Yes.
How do we make a correction when they're either, say, in a car or the UTV? So we're in the UTV, we pass again, we're passing Janet, walking her dogs, and mine wants to go, and one little friendly bark I'm okay with, but she sounds aggressive, she looks aggressive. I don't want her doing that. How do we correct in that kind of position?
So you're gonna correct by doing your work ahead of time, okay? You're going to do your work ahead of time. You are going to put a collar on your dog, and you're gonna set your dog up for situations like that. I don't care if you go to Lowe's, Home Depot, Tractor Supply, where dogs are walking back and forth, whatever, park, something like that. And every time your dog does that, you're gonna make it lay down. And you're gonna tell it, enough, okay? Once your dog is really accurate with that, then you can do it in the car, where it's just your voice. But in the beginning, your dog has to know that you mean business. If you're driving the UTV and your dog's going crazy, all right, and you're saying, enough, stop it, cut it out, right? You can't, there's nothing you can do about it. So do it ahead of time. Correct the problem ahead of time. Let the dog know that you mean what you say, you know, and feel it. If you are in the UTV and the dog slips, you know, you're doing really good at home, project it. I would throw you right out of this car and run your ass over. I mean, project that you mean business, because that dog is gonna be like, okay? Like when a dog potties in the house, you've been gone and dog had an accident in the house, and people will tell me all the time, he knew what he was doing. He knew it. Don't tell me they only live in the present. He knew it. As soon as I walked in and I smelled it, that dog cowered and went in the other room. Why is that? You walked in the house and went, oh, that dog smells again. Right? You're projecting that energy. That's how your dog knew. Oh, he tore the pillow up. You know, you project it. So that's why your dog knew he did something bad. I mean, do your work ahead of time. Be consistent. 5 minutes, people. 5 minutes a day. It resets their whole brain. 5 minutes.
Yeah, so far, we see somebody, and we actually just try to cover our eyes so she can't see. We see it coming and I'm covering. You've seen me do this.
You need help.
Yeah.
So my dog is on a time. So when Ken, for instance, goes by, because Ken had stopped and Libby, and he knows people that have animals in that car, so he goes crazy after them, barking, running on his tie out front. Or UTVs. Well, again, most of them have dogs in them. so he wants to go after them. Is it a matter of the blue collar? I've tried the one with the sound, it doesn't affect him at all.
What kind of collar was it?
It was just a regular collar, but I mean that I have a remote that makes a sound that's supposed to stop them.
Can you hear the sound?
No.
Okay. So I would use a collar where you can actually hear it.
So will it be
And-
that black and blue one? that I need?
Yeah, this one here, the Bostic. So
What is it called? I forgot. It's on
It's a Bostic
Bostic,
at
okay.
Amazon. And so you can hear the tone, so you know it's working.
Okay.
So again, on a long line,
Mhm.
get them used to that. And then it's also got vibrate. So if your dog's ignoring the tone, hit the vibrate button. That annoys them. Worst case scenario, hit the shot.
Okay.
And let them know you mean it. Huh?
Does that show?
Yeah, so the bottom one shocks. But if you do your work ahead of time on the, where you can actually, quiet that dog down and teach it a command, in the house when it barks, something like that, enough, good. Make sure you praise after whatever correction you give your dog. When your dog gets it, tell it, you got it. That's what I wanted. That's exactly right.
So we have a collar that does sound vibration, and then worst case scenario is it squirts citronella. And when Lena's particularly unruly, UTV's a classic example. So I used to wait until the UTV went past and she got crazy, and then I would hit the citronella. But if I hit the citronella, dogs hate citronella, by the way. It's just the smell. If I do it, because she can hear them and I can hear them, but if I do it before they get there, she tends to be much calmer. Is that?
So when you use a citronella, vinegar and water works too in a spray bottle or water pistol. When a dog gets that blast, it can't smell anything for 2 hours. It drives the dog nuts. That's why those things work. So, that's another thing.
Use water guns, and it doesn't, just water, that
Water
doesn't
won't
work.
work, it could care less about that. But if you do a 50-50 solution of white vinegar and water, it won't stain your furniture, it won't stain anything, and just give them a spray. They also don't like that noise. They don't like that. If you want to give them their attention, they usually will look at you.
But can vinegar
And
hurt their
set your
eyes?
dog up, again, if you know it's UTVs, submissive down position works really well. If they're not gonna, step on the dog can't pop up, and, use it that way. If it barks while it's laying down, give it a squirt. That's enough. Tell it, enough, and mean it. Then squirt it. Then when it's quiet, good. That's what I want.
Stupid question, but where do you squirt it? On
Right
the
in the
bottom,
face.
in the face? Okay, that's.
Yeah, you won't blind it, nothing, it just disrupts their smell.
So I have another question about leash. And that is, I was told, correctly or incorrectly, that the dog can sense your anxiety through the leash. Is that correct?
Absolutely. If you eat a peppermint, it hides it. Because when you're walking your dog, okay, and you know that you have a reactive dog, and you're having this nice walk and everything's fine, and you see another dog coming, or you see a UTV coming, or you see a car coming, subconsciously you're going, oh no, this is gonna happen. That adrenaline is pumping, you tighten up your hand on the leash reactively, and the dog feels that. A dog can feel this, okay? They can feel a fly land on their back. So any little thing, the dog feels it. Remember, they're 200 times more perceptive than you. So if you eat a peppermint, the smell of the peppermint actually hides the smell of the adrenaline. So a lot of times that'll work too. But a lot of it is homework. It's doing your homework, people. It's going also, what did Jeannine say about body language? What did Jeannine say about energy and perception and projection? How does my dog think? Little things that a person may not know, okay? If your dog puts its paw on your foot, it's dominance. If a dog puts their paw on your arm, it's dominance, okay? It's dominating you. It may not be aggressive or anything, but it's saying, I want something from you. Whether it's to be pet or it's afraid or whatever. If a dog leans on you, it's dominant. There are things that dogs do that we don't even notice that they're doing it. You know, it can be so subtle. Yes.
I have a question about snakes and training your dogs not to attack snakes, because we didn't have poisonous snakes where I come from. That's a concern.
Leave it. Leave it. Leave it is a good command, but like I said, leave it has to be done correctly.
Prior to an actual altercation with a snake, how would you give a rubber snake and just say leave it, or?
Yeah, you could do that. You know, if you see a snake in the yard, leash her up right away, bring it over, and and say, look at the snake, and then say, leave it, and then reward. Leave it, reward. Get that muscle memory going, get them out of the brain. So, what are the 3 sides of a dog's brain? Don't look at this.
Eat, sleep.
Okay. Can a dog be primal and analytical? Can it be instinctive and analytical? Okay. What is the difference between instinct and primal?
Zero. Oh, difference, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the difference. Primal is what they are hardwired to do, to protect, to feed, to mate, whatever the primal instincts are is your primal. Instinct, bird dog wants to go get birds, okay? Mastiff wants to protect. You know, pitties, some pitties are great, some pitties are a little bit dog aggressive depending on the person. Are there any bad dogs?
No. Bad people.
Bad people, okay? You know that 89% of behavioral issues are caused by odors. Some issues, there's only like 10% are medical, okay? So if you have a dog and all of a sudden he was really friendly and now all of a sudden he's aggressive, could be a thyroid issue, could be anything. So you want to make sure that there's not something that's, you know, medically wrong with your dog. But if you're not getting anywhere through putting yourself in a pack litter position, it could be that. And the other small percent is breeding. You know, people are bad breeders. You know, they cause problems in the dogs. Pit bull world, pit bulls have a very bad reputation. Why? Because you had a bad group of people that would breed aggression into the dogs. They would breed it into, they'd take the most aggressive with the most aggressive and make a puppy. They couldn't get rid of the puppies, and then the puppies end up at the pound. So, and then we take them and we have a behavioral issue. Health issues, another thing with a breeder. I mean, if you go and you buy a dog from a breeder, you need to make sure where the parents tested, you know, what did you do, what kind of health certifications do you have to make sure that chances are you won't have that kind of an issue with your dog. And then, like I said, there's some dogs, they don't care whether they're the leader or not the leader, you know, they just, okay. And that's fine, those kind of dogs are fine, but there's gonna come a time in your life when you're gonna have a dog that's not like that, you're gonna have a dog that's fearful, or you're gonna have a dog with high anxiety, or you're gonna have a dog that is very dominant. So, you know, learn the right things, learn the body languages, learn what the dog is doing, you know, is he leaning on me, is he afraid of me? If he's afraid, never pet your dog and tell it it's okay. Bring it right up to whatever it's afraid of, you know? Touch it yourself, you're fine. If you have to drag it, just you know, be patient about it, get the dog over to it. So it's not
What about sounds? My dog is petrified of gunshots.
So a lot of dogs, especially as they get older, are very sound sensitive. And there's not much that you can do about that. That's just their ears. They get very, very sensitive about it. Thunderstorms, fireworks, anything that has percussion to it, a dog will be very sensitive. What we used to do with our shepherd puppies, we bred shepherds for military and people and for all kinds of reasons, farm dogs. But we would temperament test a puppy. They couldn't come to our house and pick out a puppy because they had a 4-page questionnaire that they had to fill out, so I knew their lifestyle and which puppy would be good because we temperament tested everybody. So a lot of breeders don't do that. You go, you pick out your puppy, and you're cute, you bring them home. But big dogs, cower dogs, you probably want them temperament tested. And the hearing, the sensitivity to the noise. We used to take our puppies and play music all the time, sound music, jets flying over, doorbells ringing, cars, trucks, trains, all of that. So dogs also, they have learning curves in their life. So the first 8 weeks of a dog's life, it learns the most from its brothers and sisters and its mother. They learn the most from other dogs in their first 8 weeks. The second 8 weeks, they learn the most about everything through their environment. That's why they'll be chewing up things. That's why they're eating rocks and sticks and dirt and leaves and all those things, because they're trying to figure out what's nutritional value for them. Okay? Because they're really a wild animal that we're taking. So they learn the most from that. After that, they learn the most from human beings. Okay? As soon as your dog has its shots, expose it to everything. Everything you could possibly think of to avoid, that possible sound problem in the future. Let it hear a gunshot go off. Let it hear trains coming and noise and things. You'll avoid a lot of the dog being afraid of stuff because it learns. And it also puts you in a great position to take a young puppy and to show it there's nothing to be afraid of. I'm here for you. You don't need to react to that. I will be the one to react. So they have stages in life. Sometimes when we get a rescue dog, they've missed those stages. They've been in a kennel, they haven't been exposed, they, are COVID dogs. People that got puppies during COVID where they couldn't go out, they couldn't do things. Now they've got a Velcro problem. They can't even get up and go to the bathroom on their own, and the dog has a severe anxiety if they leave, and rips up the house, and all kinds of problems happen with the COVID dogs. So expose your young dog as much as you can to certain things, and do your homework. All right, I have a question for you, and whoever answers the question right gets a basket. Then we're going to do just a short demo outside. So here's your basket. There's a Frisbee in here. There's a splash pad in here. There's toys and balls and fun stuff. Out of everything we talked about today, what is the number one most important thing for your dog?
Consistency.
Nope.
No.
Stay calm.
Be a good trainer.
Nope. Nope.
Obviously, we learned a lot.
Go ahead. You can say.
She talked to you.
Ask her something.
She raised her hand.
Go ahead, ask her.
See what? What's your
She's thinking.
What was the question again? What's the most important? Reward good behavior.
Nope.
Consistency?
Nope.
They're a dog, you're a dog, you're human, they're a dog.
Closer.
Get her down to 3 so she can learn. Maybe.
Nope. Go ahead, you,
I'm the alpha.
nope,
Don't stare your dog in the eyes.
nope.
Be the pack leader.
That's important, but that's not. Okay, yes,
To break them out of the primal mindset in order to train them.
important, but not the most important.
Oh, it's not the dog, it's the person.
Closer,
Okay. No bad dogs, though.
yes,
Honesty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
important, but not the answer.
I like consistency.
Consistent.
The dog is a dog, and you are a sheep.
Very close. There. Oh, you're so close.
Don't lie to your dog.
Very close again.
Yes,
That was the first thing she said.
That's true. All right, last time, last guess.
Dog is a dog, not a human.
Very close again. Very close. Okay, you ready?
A hint, give us a hint.
treat your dog.
What? Here's a hint. Here's a hint, and this should give it to you guys. You ready to raise your hands?
Think like a dog.
You got it. Remember, your dog is not a human being. It does not have the emotions that we have. They're black and white, we're gray. They don't lie, we lie. Whatever is on the dog's mind is on the dog's mind. What's on our mind, we have to skirt around the issues or whatever. So you have to think like the dog thinks. Okay? It thinks in a pack. All those things that you said were very close. It thinks like it's in a pack environment. It thinks like it needs you to be a leader. It wants honesty from you. All those things you mentioned all kind of combine into that. But think like the dog. That is the very most important thing. What is my dog telling me? Is my dog mad at that? Is my dog gonna bark? Where is my dog's brain set? How am I gonna get my dog analytical? Think like the dog. You know? And all those problems and all those things you will see start getting smaller and smaller and smaller until they're non-existent. All right, you want to see a little bit? You guys were awesome.
You're a bundle of energy there, little girl.
She's like, oh my God, there's so many people that I can.
I can hurt them all.
Yeah.
I can.
Sit.
Okay, everyone, so this is Liv. Liv is a 2-year-old border collie, and she's all over the place, okay? So I just want to show you not how smart my dog is, because you can see. She's not a very well-trained dog. She's a very young dog. I spent my lifetime training dogs. I've retired from that, or I'm trying to retire from that. And so we just allow Liv to pretty much be a dog. But we're going to show you this collar here, which is the pinch collar. And I just want to show you where to put it on the dog. So you're going to put it up high. Can everybody see? Okay. And I have put this where it is adjusted to, let me just see this neck. So if you wanted to put your finger in there. Yeah. So you can see how tight it is on her. Yeah. So like just a finger in there. Because we want it to kind of stay in place.
Well, so stick your finger in.
Anybody
It's
else?
worked for me.
Now, these I like because as you saw in class, there are some people that don't mind the that don't mind the pinch collars, and some people that'll really react to you. Like, oh,
guys do the same for the other color, the silver one?
Yes.
The same color?
Yes.
So your leash would go between the two little buttons up the
Yeah,
top.
so your leash goes here. And it kind of acts almost like the martingale. And the corrections on the dog are going to be very subtle. So, come here, Liz.
What do you call that collar again? What do you call that?
Pinch.
A pinch collar. Okay. Pinch collar.
Has a few different names. So, if I tell Liz, sit. Okay, so she didn't do it. So I'm not going to tell her again. I'm just going to put some pressure. And then I'm going to okay? So that's her reward. Good sit. Good. And don't overpraise because then they're going to get up. So if I put her in sit, she needs to sit. Doesn't mean to lay down. It doesn't mean for her to choose to get up. It means for her to sit. So I'm going to put pressure. I'm not going to repeat the command I told you once. Figure it out. Okay? This makes the dog analytical. It's working that, how do I get away from the pressure? So she's really good at down, so she has to do that at herding. So she got up again, pressure. Okay? Until she learns that she's going to stay there until I release her. So if I'm going to release her, I'm going to step behind her. Good job! Okay? And I'm going to release her. She's not going to get up until I release her. If you just allow the dog to get up, the dog is choosing not to listen to you. Okay? Which puts the dog in a leadership position. Down. Okay? So if she does that, I'm going to just keep my foot on this leash and talk to y'all. And if she goes to get up, Dan, just come over by Liv for a minute, just so she gets distracted. Come on. And we're going to let her figure it out.
She don't give up easy.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a lot of drama.
She is a drama queen. So it's going to be things like that. Don't repeat yourself over and over to get your dog to do something. Let it work on the pressure. Let it analyze. Okay. So she always does it just without anything, because it's one of the herding commands. But that was the first time she had to figure it out. All right, what I wanted her to do. So, with herding, they down, then they get up, then they down, then they get up. So that was a new experience for her. So you saw how she reacted. She got a little dramatic about it, and she had to think about it. How am I going to get that pressure away from me? Now you can see she's just laying there calmly and peacefully because she's like, oh, and she doesn't think I did that to her. She's just saying, in her brain right now, she's saying, when I didn't do what Mom said, something negative happened. Now something positive is happening. People that have problems at the front door, I didn't go over this either. A lot of people that have that when they come home, the first thing they do is, hi, puppy. Okay. Oh, hi. You make a big stink over your dog. Don't do that. Walk in the door, walk past your dog. I know it's hard. It's very hard to do that. Walk past your dog. Put your groceries down, put your keys away. And then hi, good to see you. All right? Because if you're going to make a big stink at the front door, and you're going to be all over your dog, and you're going to be all high-pitched, and this and that, even though your dog's happy, where is its brain? It's way up here, right? And then it thinks everybody that comes to the door, it's going to be, whatever. Healing, all right? So she's never on leash, so when I heal with her, Liv, sit. Joe, pressure, okay? She gave me the wrong thing. Good sit. And I'm going to tell her that was really good. So if I want the dog to heel next to me, with all this distraction and all these people, I need to get her attention. Liv, Good. Nope. Ready? Okay. Ready? I'm gonna annoy her. I want her to look at me. Hey. Sit. Sit.
Like I know you want something.
No. There you go. Good. Ready. Heel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sit. No. No. Good. Heel. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, very good. So that time I didn't have to give her a correction. She just did it. Heel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, very good. Okay, so that's how you're going to start the heel. And you can see I'm only using my fingers. So when she gets, I want her shoulder by my leg. So when she goes a little, sit. Ready? Heel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pressure. Okay? I'm not jerking her. I'm not anything. Okay? So your dog needs to kind of be like this in a distracted place.
I forgot, what did you start with your left foot when you do?
Yeah. So if I do my left foot, sit. Good. Sit. Good girl. Okay. Right hand over. Stay. I'm going to leave on my right foot this time. So in the beginning, just go right in front of them where you can pull up if you need to. And slowly back up. Stay. Stay, you can say over and over to a dog. Stay.
So you'd want to do that before they got ready to go outside. If they start getting wild again, do it until they stop.
Good job. Okay.
There you go.
Let's see. So I'm going to show you how this one works. She's got a really strong recall, but I want y'all to be very distracted. So just take her over to that UTV, and when I tell you to release her, I'm just going to say just drop it, drop the leash, and then I'm going to call her. All right, you can drop it. Lib, come. In here, quick, quick. Hurry, hurry. Yes. Okay, so that's how that works. Did y'all hear it?
Why were you beeping it as she was coming?
Just for a demo for you guys.
Okay.
That's how you're going to teach it, is on the long line. So if, can you do that again? And then this time just take this long line off of her. And just, you keep walking so it's a distraction. And everybody makes some distracting noises so that you can move, you can jump around, whatever you're going to do when I call her.
Okay.
And we won't beep her unless she doesn't listen.
Is it important to get her attention by saying her name before you give the command?
Yeah, I like them to think about it. If they're off looking over here and looking there, and they're not analytical.
Wait. Let's do that. Okay.
Okay, just turn around like you're going to keep leaving.
And just let go of her?
And just, yeah, you can just take that off. Liv, come. So that was when she went to her, I gave her a tone. Okay, so you saw she ran by, blew me off, and went over to Patricia. And she knew she did wrong, that's why she became my little good girl. Liv. Good job. So,
That was so sweet.
come here. Come up here. Lie down. Good. So that's basically all that it is. So if you train it with this and train it with distraction, at least you have something. So if she did that before and this long line was on her, I could have stepped on it and then brought her this way. Gave her a tone and brought her this way. Because she's trained to it, she doesn't really need this, but you know, it's a great thing. So if she sees a squirrel, I just have to ring the bell. That's it. Okay? So now you have your invisible leash. And now you're not going to be a problem. Now, if that dog jumps on anybody, you better stop petting it until it's off. Come here, Liv. Come here. Come here, Liv. She likes that. Come here.
Wow, what a star.
Bum scratches.
Liv.
I'll stay there.
He said, I'm not checking everybody out.
Check everybody out.
Liv, here. She's very friendly. She's very...
Don't touch her, don't touch her, don't touch her.
Thank
Give
you,
up.
Patricia.
Give 'em.
Somebody paid attention and clapped.
Somebody did.
Anything else that we can go over with her? So you know how to put the collar on, you know how to start your heel, you know to say that once, you know it's just a gentle pressure. The thing I like about that collar is I don't have to really nag the dog, okay? Where some of the flat buckles are...
Don't touch her, don't touch her, don't touch her.
Yep, tell her off. Exactly.
It's so hard, isn't it? It's hard.
I have a bad issue with a dog on the leash.
Liv, come.
Yeah, I get it. When someone comes up to pet it, big dog, she wants to jump up in the face.
Do it at home, set her up. You know, bring your knee up.
But it's not me, it's the person coming up.
That's the same problem with her. She doesn't do that to us normally. It's other people that call her over and they let her jump and they let her. She gave the lady at Tractor Supply a bloody nose. She's got that pointy little nose, and the lady bent over and she boom, cracked her right in the bridge of her nose, bleeding all over the place. And you know, it's like, and even with the blood coming out, the lady's still doing it. I'm like,
Well, you feel guilty that you caused it. We can make 100 excuses for a dog.
yeah.
But what's a good way to correct them from doing that?
My sister will
Not doing it to you,
play
but
with
they're doing
her.
it.
And
So if
try to
somebody
tell her
comes
we don't
up
let
to
her
you,
jump on people,
just say,
and my
look, I am
sister just
trying
can't learn it.
to teach my dog not to jump. If my dog's feet leave the ground, then you can bring your knee up and stop petting it. Or teach people to pet your dog under the chin. So if you, hey Liv, come. Sit. So if you teach them to sit when they come to greet somebody, and then tell the person to pet them under here, they will eventually automatically sit for that. And that'll help stop this. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Unless you got something. I hope you all learned a little something and enjoyed the class. What now? What now? Good job, Liv. You ready to go in the car? Yeah.
She's like, okay, time to go home.
Yeah, I'll go. I'm going to my safe
Going to the car.
spot.
Exactly.